We're going live.
We're live. Go ahead.
We'll be going live. And
We're live.
Okay.
1, 2, we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, you are all welcome to the Loudest African Debate. The only we want to talk. And today, oh man, we have a show today. Do we have a topic? We have a topic. Do we have a guest? We have a real guest on the show. And man, I am ready to debate with her so much about this topic. Me and Helen have known each other for a while, and we have agreed upon so many things, but I'm very sorry. I'm not going to be agreeing with her on this very topic. The topic we have today is, has politics actually done harm to Africa? And my answer is yes. I see politics, but then let us not go into that right now. Let me go ahead to introduce my co-host, Brother Ajamu. Yesterday, Ajamu spoke to me and he said, King Fazan, do you know that actually this is the only show that has an African American and an African brother on the continent hosting it together? And I say, hell yeah, I really never thought about that, but then it is awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege once again to welcome my co-host, Ajamu, all the way from Orlando, Florida, United States of America. Let us put our hands together for him.
Yay!
And I will allow Ajamu to read the biography of Helen, because if I'm going to read it, I'm not going to finish. So I know too much about her. So Brother Ajamu will be reading that. And ladies and gentlemen, you are in for a great show. That I promise you with no lie. So Brother Ajamu, without wasting any more time, can you introduce this powerful woman, this iron woman that think she can take Kenya to another level? Please do the honor of introducing her.
All right. Thank you. Habari Zagioni. Did I say that right? Habari Zagioni. Thank you. And we have Helen Aniso Otolo. Did I say that right? Thank you. All right. So Helen, or Queen Otolo, is actually the president of the Critical and Creative Thinking Academy out of Nairobi, Kenya. She's also a former university lecturer in philosophy, gender studies, and critical thinking. She's an author of a book on critical and creative thinking, a compulsory course which she helped to create at Kenyatta University. Former director at Kenyatta University and member of Senate Executive Board, served on various primary and secondary school boards, currently a board of management member of a girls' high school, trained adolescent sexual reproductive health agents, formerly a trade unionist, former peer counselor coordinator at Kenyatta University, studied bachelor's, master's, and doctorate in African philosophy. We definitely got to talk. Written and presented several academic papers, including African feminist philosophy, ran for gubernatorial seat in Kenya in 2017. Firm believer in youth and women empowerment. That was a lot. Go ahead, sister.
That's just a quarter of it.
Yeah, and this is the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, so this is the woman we have on our show today. Oh man, I'm so happy that I'm so happy that we had her on the show. This woman has done everything. yeah, that a woman can dream of doing. And in fact, her journey is so inspiring, and what she has been able to do as an African woman. So once again, guys, wherever you are, put your hands together one more time for Helen. So Helen,
Asante sana.
I would love you to just yes, just say one or two things to our viewers before we will start asking you questions, because I got too many questions to ask you. Personally, I feel that politics has failed Africa big time, and people should have even stopped politics in Africa. But then, having read all your biography and whatever, I was like, okay, cool. Let us hear what you we have to say. But before we go any further, please, can you just say one or two words to our viewers?
Oh, asante sana. Greetings from Kenya, Nairobi City. Thank you for inviting me into this show, Brother Jamu and Fazan. This is a beautiful forum for us to talk about African issues and issues that affect us. And if you are not affected, if you're not infected, sorry, you are affected. So I am so proud to be here. Fazan has been trying to get me to do this for quite a while. He finally managed to catch me with my, busy schedule. And I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. Asante sana. Thank you.
Asante de Swana, which means thank you. Yeah, that is Swahili, guys.
Yes.
And
Swahili,
yes,
yes.
and the topic, yes, the topic of our show is, has politics failed Africa? And I am one person that where I'm sitting right now, I can unequivocally tell you, yes, politics has failed Africa big time. So to me, you just have to convince me to believe that there is hope for Africa in the democratical way of doing things, or as for me as a person, talking to you right now, I feel as if politics, the Western politics, let us be specific, the Western politics, where somebody is elected to be the president, somebody is elected to be the governor, and all of those stuff. I feel that that has failed Africa big time, because this is almost 50 years, like Ghana, the first country that got their independence in Africa, they are 50 something years now. But there is nothing there to point your hand and say, this is the dividends of democracy. So, Helen, you are running for the post of the governor in one of the counties in Kenya. And having seen or followed the kind of person you are, do you think politics is actually an arena whereby you can be able to impact lives the way you are impacting now?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. First of all, I would like to define politics so that we put it in its right perspective, because I like to differentiate between politicians and leaders. There is a difference between politics and leadership. So once we get that definition right, then we can move forward. And then another definition is about democracy. Democracy comes from the Greek word demo, which means rule, and then kratos is people. So the rule of the people. So politics is the science of government. It is about governance. And that is the technical definition. But then politicking is what you are describing as that which has failed, Africa. So when I went into the race, the gubernatorial race in my county, my plan was to use power to change the lives of the people. Number one, to get them out of poverty, to empower them so that they can be self-reliant, and thirdly, to tap into the great potential that Africa has. Africa has minerals. I know Africa is the richest continent in the world in terms of our resources, our minerals, our cultures, our food, our values. And Africans are basically just very, very, very outgoing people, very open, and maybe that is why colonialism was able to kind of penetrate, because we are very welcoming. Africans are very welcoming people. So I think the problem when it comes to governance, the science of government, we have tried to copy other democracies, and especially the American system, where we believe that the rule of the majority must prevail. But you saw that even in America, we had a disputed election, which means the problem is not the system. The problem is the people. It is us. Because where do the politicians come from? Are they not from the society? Are they not our brothers, our sisters, our cousins, our uncles? We are the ones who produce these people called politicians. But it seems we do not have values. We have not internalized the values and the principles by which a leader is supposed to live. So what are the principles? Number one, you have to have a vision. You have to know where you want your people to be. You have to have a vision for education. You have to have a vision for wealth creation. You have to have a vision even for stability of family. Now, if you don't have a vision, then where are you taking people? Number two, you have to be a person of integrity. You have to be honest. You have to be someone who really wants to do the job for the sake of getting people to the next level, not for self-aggrandizement. And I think this is where the problem is. Mahatma Gandhi said that there is enough in the world for every man's need, but there will never be enough for every man's greed. So we seem to have greedy politicians who believe in amassing power and wealth at the expense of the masses. And I believe that is where the problem is. Otherwise, I still feel we still have an opportunity as Africa. Remember, all the African nations, like you said, Ghana and the rest are young, which are 50, 60 years old. America had so many years to develop a democracy. So, and then the Chinese and the Japanese, and the South Koreans, these are, Africa is still a maturing democracy. So we, the people, the ordinary people, are supposed to hold our leaders to account, because we have surrendered the right to rule ourselves to them. We trust them. So the sovereign will of the people, which is in all the constitutions of the African countries, needs to be respected. So if politics has failed, it is not that the system is the problem. We are the problem. We who elect these people, because even in Ghana, the other day we had the issues of voter bribery. This seems to be common on the African continent. And also in America, we could see Trump was giving out apples. We saw those things, trying to put us. So it's a human thing. And what we need to be to be thinking, especially young people, because the young people are the leaders of tomorrow.
So,
What
Helen,
values
thank you.
are they going to move forward? Yes.
That was wow. She made some good points. I'm not gonna lie.
Ajam is on my side.
Well, I mean, I have to. Yeah, she made some good points.
Yes.
This will be interesting.
Oh yes, it will. Heads are going to roll.
Oh man,
blood is going to flow.
Woo!
Wow, Fazan is a bit quiet. Has he been knocked out?
But I don't agree. I don't agree. No, yeah, she made some good point, but I don't agree. I don't agree with all of them. Yes, I don't agree with all of them.
What are your reasons?
Yes, please elaborate.
No, I don't, because we talking over comparing. She just made mention of her. No, she made mention of countries like America and Japan, and then she calls the name of South Korea. For your record, South Korea got their independence the same day with Kenya.
Yes,
the same day, right?
Correct.
So now, what makes South Korea there and Kenya here? Now, if we talk about not politics, but we electing people, how many times in Africa that we the citizen vote in somebody that we really want? We don't do election, we do selection. There are few people who sit there and get anybody who they want in the office. So in as much as I will want to elect Helen in the office, there is some guy somewhere that has interest of a corrupt person. He will put that person in office, and there's nothing I can do. And if we talk of another point, that we are the people who always elect these people. Another point is this: when you are so hungry to a point that your integrity can be priced, then there is a problem. These people, they are so poor to a point that anything you give them, they can sell their integrity to you. They don't even care. So to them, it is not about electing a better person in office. It's about getting their stomach full first. So if we talk about politics in Africa, the way politics is practiced in Africa, I still stand by saying, I feel that politics has failed us. And if there is any way at all, people like you going into politics, how are you sure that you are not going to be corrupt by the system? Because this is the system. Had it been it's not the system, why is it that everybody that goes there end up in the same story?
Yes.
You understand? So that's the reason why when we talk about this thing, when we talk about creating the Africa of our dream, we feel like the system is already corrupt. So we want to like create another one. But if people like you going into politics, a woman of integrity that everybody knows about, you've been a professor, you've done a lot of things for Kenyan citizens, and now when you are going to go into politics, my question is, how are you not sure that the system will corrupt you? Because I have heard people speak, they spoke heaven and earth, like they're gonna do the best. They're gonna change the country. They're gonna change their states and all of that. Immediately, when power was given to them, they became other people that the citizens do not even know. So, Helen, if I were into politics and I'm a Kenyan citizen, I was gonna be the first person to vote you into power, because I know the person that you are. But the question is, would it still be that Helen if she gets into the office?
Yes, thank you very much for that question. Not only South Korea, but also Singapore. Kenya and Singapore were at the same level at some point. But you see, Singapore got a very good leader who made a deliberate decision to, first of all, recognize that we must live by certain values. Values of honesty, values of integrity, values of hard work. So the leader is very important, the person who is actually carrying the vision. And then it's not enough to be a leader. You have to start from the bottom. For example, when you say that voters or people are being bribed, which is true, this is happening, we need to ask ourselves, why are people accepting? Why are they not rejecting? Why
Uh-oh.
Helen is having some technical challenges there, but then
Yeah.
we'll hear from her. And like I was saying, my point was very simple. My point is, in as much as we will say the citizens end up choosing a wrong person, why is it that every time we choose the wrong person? Which to me points to a direction that says it's a system. The system is not okay. So no matter how good somebody is, and seriously talking about Helen, she has been a very, 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 very great woman in Kenya. The things that she is doing in Kenya, from being a professor, from being a lot of things that she has done. But my question that I was strictly asking her was, will she still be the Helen that all of us know when she gets into power? And most of the time, the answer is because we have seen this thing over and over and over. So, Mr. Ajamu, with you, I know you are not in Africa, but then you know so much about Africa. Politics, do you think politics, the Western politics that you guys practice in United States of America, do you think that kind of politics will ever work for us in Africa?
My take on that is, I think I've stated this before in previous shows, that it seems like the system is set up to award people that lack integrity and morality.
Yeah.
So if I have morality, integrity, I cannot be in the system that rewards immorality and lack of integrity. So it's kind of like you become a bad person by default by entering into the system, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Some people go. I would assume a lot of people have good intentions, and then they go into the system with good intentions. But it seems like soon as it's by default, it's like you enter in, and then it's like, oh, whoa, I got to do some craziness to try to maintain the status quo, so to speak. I'm looking at some real good answers in the chat. Yeah, somebody put down, you need to have a parallel system in order to affect change. Actually, I know this brother. It's Mr. Pearson. I know this brother. You need to have a parallel system in order to affect change, so the old systems are rendered ineffective. And then Ethan put, no one goes into politics or power without the intention of being corrupt or stealing. The system influences them. That's what I said. Somebody put down, the U.S. system and Africa system is the same. It is a system no matter what country. Interesting. And then someone put, Mr. Pearson again put down that he disagrees with another person's point, Manford, there are some people who seek to exploit the system. So I'm not sure. I mean, I think the fix would be to go back to basics, to go back to maybe something totally new, or something totally created by African people. But I think the character of the person has to be solid in order for them to lead. You don't just wake up one morning and you're a leader. I think the actual society or the culture that you live in watches that person for a while to determine what type of integrity they have in morality and their character is sound. I mean, leadership, you're never going to get everybody to be on your side. However, you do want to have some sense of a good character. Like, you cannot be manipulated. You can't be persuaded, in certain things. You have to have wisdom. You got to have wisdom and so forth. Wisdom usually is from just living different experiences in life and so forth. So there's a lot of factors, I think. But right now, from what I could tell that's going on the continent, there's a lot of mess going on as far as corruption and things of that nature. And maybe I'm wrong, because a lot of times, a lot of the information that we get on this side is through the media, and the media is one-sided. I always tell people it's one-sided. It's never the truth. It's always this manipulated story that we get, and then once we get it, we're like, oh, well, this is what's going on, and then most people don't even research past that. Is it possible for someone like Queen Helen to go into a position and to fight the powers that be? Yeah, it's possible. But the question is, does the system have something in place to remove people like Helen because they don't want Helen to be in a system and change it, if that makes sense? Yeah. So she goes in wanting to change it. Somebody goes, wait. That leader over in Kenya, you got to watch her. She's trying to. We don't want that. So we got to go. We got to do something about Helen here. We got to come up with something. I'm just saying. I mean, since we're bringing this all out, let's bring it all out. Let's bring it all out. Let's bring it all out. Is it possible there's these group of people or whoever, and they're like, wait a minute, I don't like the way Helen is talking? Because I do got a question for Helen. It's a positive question. It's a term I haven't seen in a long while. It's a term that I haven't seen in a long while. I read about it. There's only one leader that I know that tried to implement it that I know of. She might know of others. But she's back on the show. We got Queen back. And somebody put down real quick, Gaddafi was the last significant threat to African unity, and the U.S. killed him. Oh, yeah, we had a show about Gaddafi, remember?
I disagree. I disagree with Mr. Pearson about that. Gaddafi wasn't a figure of unity in Africa. It was just a power monger who was seeking to get people together so that he can rule. He has never been our hero. No. Gaddafi, no.
All right. Oh, interesting. Yeah, we had a show about Gaddafi. But go ahead, Helen.
Oh, I'm sorry, my internet went off, but it's back again. Sorry.
No, don't need to apologize, Queen. We fully understand. I mean, the Wi-Fi is not. I don't know. It doesn't work. It works everywhere else in the world, but not. It seems like in Africa.
No, it does work. It works. Actually,
okay, cool.
It's right now she switched off the lights because she wanted to sleep, so she disconnected them. So, I think we need to give Gaddafi some credit for the reforms that he introduced for his people. For example, the healthcare system, because one of the things that people need to survive, like, you need healthcare. That is very, very important. And remember, I think Obama also came in, with that agenda, with Obamacare, healthcare is very, very important for the aged, for the sick, that is number one. I think that Gaddafi managed to do that. Number two, Gaddafi believed in the institution of the family. And I remember any couple that wanted to get married, he would actually sponsor them. Right now, our social strata is being organized because our industries and our agriculture is not working. In the sugarcane farms, for example, in my rural home, young people are not getting married because they were relying on cane, on the cultivation of sugarcane as subsistence crop and also as a cash crop. They were relying, that was their source of income. Now, when that is not there, it affects the social strata. It affects a family. Remember, the family is the basic unit of society where our values come from. Now, which gets me back to the earlier point that I was trying to make. Look at your typical politician. He is driving a 4x4. He drives to the village on a road that he has not fixed, and he has to drive a 404 because the road is bad. And if it's really, 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 really bad, he will land with using a chopper, a helicopter. Now, when the young children begin to see this person driving this big car and putting on these nice clothes and carrying with him this wads and wads of money and dishing them out, what are you telling these children? That for you to be successful, you have to have a big car, you have to have a lot of money, and you have to be super well dressed. So those are the values. That is where the problem begins. You are already showing this person, it's called the big man syndrome in Africa or in any system where you have, power in the hands of a few wealthy people. The big techs, the big farmers, all these people have money. So the values that we have passed on to our young people and our youth are that for you to make it right, you have to drive this car, you have to have all this money. And so when the politicians come and give them money to sell their vote, they give it willingly because they have grown up in a system whereby they believe that for me to be successful, my life is in the hands of this person. So this is where we need to change things. And that is why I like to talk to young people. And I will give you the example of a Chinese philosopher who took a butterfly, put it in his hand, and he asked this young man, I want you to tell me if this butterfly is dead or alive. So this young man told him, said, I'm going to trick this guy. If he says it is, if he says it is alive, I'm going to crush it. I will crush it. If he says it is dead, then I will let it go. So the young man takes the butterfly, puts it in his hand, and asks this Chinese guy, dead or alive. And this Chinese philosopher tells him, the power is in your hands. That is the analogy or the metaphor that we want to use for young people. The power is in your hands. If you want to change the system, the power is in your hands. If you want to continue with the system the way it is, the power is in your hands. And that is why civic education is very, very important on the basis of African values. If you look at Africa prehistoric, pre-colonization, Africa, we lived in what we had a philosophy of communalism, where a child belongs to the village and everybody had the right to correct a child, and everyone lived in harmony and food was shared. In fact, in my community, we have this staple food called ugali. Have you ever had ugali? Ugali, the maize meal. Ugali cannot be eaten using a knife and a fork. It is usually put on the table, and the whole family, gets to eat, pinch from the ugali, and then you eat it together with your veggies or whatever it is, and then the dinner is done, or the lunch. So that we need to go back to that. We need to go back to our African values and principles if we are to get Africa out of our morass, because our African leaders I think they've got their priorities wrong. Despite the fact that we are late in, we are the new kids on the block. Africa is the new kid on the block in terms of democracy, because America has had years and years and years and years of amending and amending and amending and amending their constitution. That is why you have the First Amendment, you have the Second Amendment, you have all that. They have grown. So we are still very young. Our democracies are very young. But I feel, as you asked me earlier, what would I do? The first thing I would want to do is to teach young children, to teach the youth the values, number one, of hard work, respecting people, respecting yourself. And because look at corruption all over the world, not only in Africa. Corruption is an ethical problem. It is a problem of integrity, So you cannot even legalize corruption. What you can do, like some countries do, is make the punishment very, very harsh so that people are not corrupt. People don't steal public funds. But you see, when you are stealing public funds, that is a problem of values. It means you were not well brought up. you were not brought up in a system where you value things and you value you realize that you are an individual among many. You are not an island. You're not going to build a big house and live among poor people and then feel that you have made it. I think that's very base. I think it's a very stupid kind of thinking, and we need to give everyone a chance to realize their potential. So this greed needs to stop. And remember, the Red Indians, what do they call gold? The Red Indians lived with gold for so many years, and they didn't even care about it. What did they call it? Yellow metal. The same things with us. In my county, we have gold. But you see, we don't value it so much. For us, it's just a metal. But we value working together. We value people. We value respect to each other's value. And we are proud of being African. We are proud of our skin. We are proud of our hair. So I agree with you when you say that the Western concept of beauty, the Western concepts of politics, the Western concept of success have permeated Africa because we allowed that to happen. And I'm very proud of our brother here for putting on the African attire. I really, really, really love that. And my background is it's called a kitenge. This is African textile, right at the back here. And it has all those proverbs and sayings, about life. Yes. And it's a symbol of woman, because we use it when we wrap it around our waist when we're cleaning, or when we're just relaxed, or we are moving around the house or the compound. So we need to go back to our real African roots. Let us not complain like Fazan is doing. This is the problem we have with young people. They're always complaining. Just go to the Uni Africa page. Go to that book. These guys are always complaining. But I've not had one young person say, hey guys, let's get together. Let's do something about changing ourselves. If you want to see change, you have to start by changing yourself.
Yeah, but that was.
Oh, thank you, Asante.
That was powerful, Helen. But then I'm so glad that we have a politician on our show today, because my chest has been burning so hard to ask a lot of questions to any politicians that we have on our show. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to vent or complain or whatsoever. But what I'm trying to do is to just say the things.
It's fine.
Yeah,
Get
just say the things that I have, not just in my heart, but a lot of young people have it in their heart. Now, Helen, look at this. Let us consider this scenario right here.
Yeah.
You are a politician in Kenya,
I'm a
and
leader.
Yes.
The
Now,
difference.
yeah. Now, listen to me. They all say that. They all say that. Now, you are a politician. Let's say your first campaign, you once contested for the governor. You were not able to make it, and you coming back again. Now, any form of campaign
Mhm.
requires resources. Any
Yes.
form, yes, require resources. And now, most of the times,
Mhm.
our good people who has all the good intentions, they don't have the money. And now, for example, let's say I am that guy that is very bad, and I have the money, and I sponsor your campaign. When you get into power, you got to do whatever I tell you to do.
Mm.
Now, all of us, me and Ajamu, we think that you are a good person, and I'm reading some comments here, and I saw one question that said, "Who even owns the president? Who even owns the governors?" Actually, there are people that owns the people that owns the country. I don't know whether you understand this English, but then this is what happened in Africa. See, I've forgotten the year, but there was a white guy that has Congo as his own country. Congo be, Congo once
What?
yeah, Congo once belonged to somebody.
Well,
So
yeah. I mean,
yeah, everything that was done in Congo was a direct instruction from that person. And as I
mm.
talk to you right now, we are still owned by by different countries or different individuals that some of us do
Are,
not even know.
are you referring to, for instance, Kenya would be controlled by England still? Is that what you're
Exactly.
saying? Mm.
Which is what is going on. So so
Interesting.
so so the thing is that when you get into power, in which I'm so much believing that you're gonna get into power this time. When you get into power, and some guy comes to you and said, "I was the person that sponsored all your campaign. I
Mm.
gave the money for whatever. Now I want you to just do this particular thing." What
Mm.
will you do at that particular time?
Mm.
Because remember, without this person, you wouldn't have been there. And this is my problem with the Western form of leadership. If somebody must get me there, listen, it is obvious that anybody who gives to you owns you. You understand me? So what will you do exactly if that person who sponsors your whatever is living in your same county, and he comes to you and he say, "You know what, you want to build a road this side, but actually I need that money for something." See, the reason why I'm asking you this question is, this is
Mhm.
the reality of so many of our politicians. Not all of them are bad people, but the system is messed up. And if you say we, the young people, can change the system, the young people of Africa are actually too poor. There is no resource that is given to them. They don't have a say. I gave an example before
But
that when
I was going to say something real quick.
yeah,
I don't think you need money to unite.
okay,
I'm saying you can unite without money. I'm
okay,
just stating. You
Yes.
could unite without money and say no. Everybody
mm,
collectively just says no, or everyone collectively says you need to start acting right, or we
yeah,
taking you out of power.
yeah.
I don't think you
I-
need money for that.
okay, let me give you an example
But go
very
ahead. Go
quickly.
ahead.
Let me give you an example very quickly, brother Ajamu.
Go ahead.
There was a time that Nigerian youth
Hmm.
started a movement um, about end SARS, because
Okay.
the corruption or the level of lawlessness in Nigeria got to a point whereby young people were tired. So when they had that movement,
Hmm.
what happened was this. Remember what I told you before. I said, when you become too poor to a point that you can sell your integrity, then there is a problem. Now, consider this. There were some young people
Mm-hmm.
who were heading the whole movement. Remember, some of these young people have not seen 100,000 naira in their lives. Now, who has the money? The politicians has 90% of the wealth of the African countries. And this, I'm not lying. Now, they just called some of them aside and gave them more than 1 million. Do you know what happened to the movement? It died. And that is how any movement in Africa dies. Because I have never seen 1 million in my life. Or some of them, listen, let me shock you a little bit. Some of the young people, the revolutionists and all of those things, some of them, they are not actually angry with the system, they are just hungry. I don't know whether you get what I said.
Yeah. So
I
they're
get
not
you,
angry.
Fazan. And let me tell you where the solution.
Can't you grow your own food? I mean, I have a question. Go ahead, sister. Go ahead, Queen.
Yeah.
Well, Ajam was asking, can't you grow your own food?
I'm just,
hungry. Okay.
I'm not trying to be funny, y'all. I'm just trying to come up with
No,
solutions.
you're making a very, very important point. Now, and you know, these young people you're talking about actually can grow their own food, but they would rather spend time on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. Where are they getting the money? That's the thing. You see, the values, we've gotten our values upside down. We have not made agriculture sexy. You know, it's a dirty job. You know, you want these nice, super white collar jobs which don't exist. Not in today's time. Now, let me give you the example of Obama. How did Obama start his campaign? He went down into communities and he started talking to people, selling his agenda, and people started to contribute $10 here, $5 here, you know. So for me, I think that is the strategy that I would want to use. You have rightly said that he who pays the piper calls the tune, right? That is what you're saying, that the person who sponsors you owns you. And this is what I am telling my women in the village. This is what I am telling the youth. You own me. I am your servant. You need to get me up there. And because you have taken me up there, I am accountable to you. That is what our constitution says. That the leaders are acting on behalf of the people. So when you get your voters to own you, I remember you heard earlier that I was a trade union. I never used to campaign much, but I would get elected. But my opponents would use lots of money for posters and buying airtime and all that. So what is the point? If people really want you where they need you to be, it's going to happen. So it is the responsibility of the individual candidate who wants to get into power to convince people that you put me there. I'm not going to spend money on you. I'm not going to bribe you. You are going to collect little shillings and see money here and there, and you are going to sponsor this stuff. Why? Because a good leader, like I believe, like myself, I don't want power so that I can enjoy good food, or I can fly, because I've had the privilege of doing all those things. I got a passport when I was 12 years old, when I was in primary school, and my dad flew me to England, so I saw England. I traveled, that. So for me, those things don't excite me. Lots of money and driving these big cars. I started driving when I was 16 years old. So those things don't move me because those are not the things that we should be impressing people with. We need to be impressing people with ideas, with plans. How do we make use of our resources? What resources do you have? You have bees. Why don't you turn the bees into a honey business? You know, you have groundnuts. Like in my place, we got a lot of what do you call them in America? Peanuts. We call them groundnuts. Yeah, peanuts. Why not make peanut butter? Start a peanut butter industry as young people, so that when the politician comes with their 500 shillings, 500 shillings is what, $50. You say no. You don't have time. You are busy on your farm. You are making honey. You are making peanut butter. You are doing value addition. You are making pineapple jam. And that is how the industries began in Europe. How did industrialization begin? Industrialization began, by women baking bread in their houses, in their homes. And then someone created a machine. Of course, proudly, a black person invented the ginnery, the cotton ginnery, the one for, processing cotton. So machines come, and then industrialization begins, and then now you're operating on a large scale. But for now, you can still start a business where you are. And then the issue of poverty is in your mind, Fazan. Poverty is in your mind. There is nothing like a poor person. There is nothing like a poor person. God has blessed everyone with a talent, a gift, and you need to see how do I use it. So for your policies, whoever comes up, who's at the top, the leader, must come up with policies, yes, that are able to create opportunities for me to play football, have a talent academy, for me to work with my hands, if I'm good at working with my hands, because I don't need to go to school to get a formal education when I can make money using my talent. And therefore, our whole system of education needs to change so that we are not producing machines that are going to get into the world of work and not adding any value. There is no productivity because our education system needs to be overhauled. So things are not that bad. We are going to get there. Like in Kenya, we have put in a lot of legislation to protect the people. We are getting we have free primary education, so we need 100% kids to go to school, primary school. So it's not all that bad. There are a few bad apples that need to be identified. Now, once you have identified that, then you work for the greater good. Because let me tell you, if you want to go quickly, you go alone. That is an African problem, isn't it? But if you want to go far, you go with others. Zazan, I don't think you would be very happy to have your big mansion with your 10 cars, your Ferraris and your Porsches, and your neighbors don't have anything to eat. That's a failure in planning, isn't it? That's a failure in even encouraging people to create wealth. That is what we need to do. And I've seen a lot of young people spending money buying airtime and bundles when they could have actually saved that money and started a business. So we just need to have a transformation of mindset. We need to re-educate, re-socialize. And for me, I target mothers. I usually target mothers because mothers are the cultural transmitters of knowledge and ethics. They are the ones who actually teach young people, their children, right and wrong, values, and they offer great support for this child that is actually coming up. So maybe one of these fine days we will talk about the African philosophy, how the education, how did we bring up children? Because the children of my generation and those before me are very different from the ones that we have now. And the breakdown of the family system. Much as you're talking about politics, you cannot divorce politics from the basic unit of the family, because if the family disintegrates, then society also disintegrates.
Mm-hmm.
So we need leaders who will come up with good policies that are going to cushion Africa from all these influxes from outside, protect us. And like I think South Africans have some music, some African music that I think there's a percentage of music that you can play that is Western or that is foreign or that is from wherever. But you have to play South African music, and I love South African music, by the way. I think I am a Luya, and I think we are connected as Bantus because our genre is almost the same. So music, dance, dress, food, the way we think is going to transform Africa. I believe that. I really do. Oh, I get a question.
Yes, Helen, Your Excellency, I'm calling you Your Excellency already. You usually gonna get into that office.
Make it till you make it, huh?
Yeah,
what do you think, Ajuma? Adamu, make it till you make it.
Right.
Make it till you make it.
Yeah, I know you're gonna get in there, but still there are things that you are saying that I still don't agree with you 100%. Like when you talk of young people getting out there doing it and all of those things. Now I always believe that my story is a story of every black child anyway. And now dream or going after your dream when you are face to face with your reality is not easy, right? When your reality is there staring at your face. And now there are people you know what I'm talking about, Your Excellency. There are young people in Africa. When they wake up, the challenge is, what are they going to eat? So tell me, how can that person begin to dream of changing a community while his stomach is empty? I'm talking of a reality that somebody is facing. So at that particular time, will you have any guts to blame that young child for taking money from a politician that he knows very well that he's a corrupt politician? Remember, he's just looking for what to eat. I'm not actually giving you reasons why. I'm not actually giving you reasons why young people are not standing up. But then I'm just giving you some insight, some of the key issues that affect us as young people. So now, if like you are contesting, you are not the only person contesting for governor in your country. If this other person has money, you give example of Obama. Let's look at Obama. The country that Obama was doing his campaign from, it wasn't in Africa. No. It wasn't in Africa.
He didn't have his dad. He didn't have his father growing up.
Exactly. What I'm saying.
Remember, his dad is from Kenya. From
I know all of those stuff. What I'm driving at is this. There in America, maybe the people were able to listen to him and understand exactly what he was trying to offer. But here in Africa, we are so hungry to a point that we don't reason with our head, we reason with our stomach. So it doesn't matter how fluent you speak. It doesn't matter how many ideas you voice out. How much can you pop out? That is the question. If you cannot pop out anything,
that time, you should not be giving people money to buy food that they will eat for the day.
Exactly.
You
Exactly
people,
what.
yeah, people need to,
Exactly,
you see,
but these people need food for that day. They don't know what tomorrow holds. All they know is today, and that's why.
now
And that's why.
let
Yeah.
us look at Africa. Let us look at Africa. Africa is, you can divide Africa into two. You have
Yes.
the rural population and you have the urban population. Now, there is no way someone in the rural area is going to lack something to eat because these are basically agrarian economies.
No,
Then there is arable land.
No, Governor. There
We
are
do have arable land. You see, what you see, we have taught people. Okay, you will get money. Let's say $50. What are you going to do with that money? You're saying you will buy food, right?
Yeah.
Did someone grow that food, or what kind of food is it? Was it not grown by someone? Because what is food? Food is something that was planted somewhere by someone. Then is when you take it and you eat it ready-made, cooked, or you go and cook. Isn't it? Food is something that someone has made. Even in your environment, when you get that money and you go buy that food, when you purchase it, you are purchasing it from someone who must have planted that food somewhere. So the point I'm making is this. We have not been able to show people that apart from being hungry, there's a possibility of you actually getting fed. I think this is the problem. You see, politicians want to keep people feeling poor, hungry, desolate, hopeless. They have no time to be creative. You are so busy thinking about what I'm going to eat today. Your brain is so saturated with those thoughts, you are not able to think about what can I do. Now, I am talking from experience. Right now, I'm in Nairobi. I'm in the capital city. And if you look at what is driving the Kenyan economy, is what we call the small businesses, the SMEs, short, small and medium enterprises. These people who peddle foodstuffs and other merchandise. And they're able to get money and then they're able to eat. I'll give you another example of the people who ride we call them the motorbikes. They use them as a means of transport. These people rely on that economy, and many of them don't actually own those motorbikes. They are just riders. They've just been hired. Nobody has ever told them that you can actually own your own bike. These are the dreams that they seem so far away that you are so busy thinking about how much I'm going to give my boss. You're not thinking about saving so that you can probably start your own business. So for me, I think we are too preoccupied with hunger issues that we really don't think of possibilities of getting out. Because I think we have people who got out. Like we have just had our examination. I think in South Africa you call it the matric, the high school examination. So
yeah.
Some of those students who have done well were barely surviving on, I think, $10 a day. They just they never used to have enough to eat. But they passed their exams and they're chopping the country. What does that tell you? That the human being, these people must have had people around them, these students, that were encouraging them, that were giving them hope, that they were telling them there is hope, there is something beyond this horrible, miserable existence that we are living that can get you to a better place. And right now they've gotten people to sponsor them. They're going to continue with their education because they need help. So I think at the end of the day, it's also about our attitude as young people. You cannot focus so much on how hungry you are and not focus on now what can I do about it. Look at this guy who was sitting under a tree and an apple fell on his head and he came up with the theory of was it gravity?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to say that sometimes we create our own problems. Like for me in my rural area, there are so many things that young people can do, but they prefer sitting on the sidewalk, taking drugs and just being idle. I try to hire some of them to come and do some farming for me, and they're just too lazy. They're just too lazy. And they would actually make some money from that and probably begin to, I could also support them also to start their own poultry farming or pig, rare pigs and all that. So young people we need people who can encourage young people to think outside this horrible, miserable box that they find themselves in. And if people don't have hope, definitely you are going to get right. Because we need to tell young people that, first of all, that vote is so powerful. It is so powerful. They don't seem to realize that. Nobody has told them that vote you hold in your hand, that is the key to your future. You cannot afford to just sell it like that. And I am happy that young people, like what you're doing, Fazan, is very good because you're getting young people to think. Maybe it's because you read my book. I'm happy that I need to send one to Ajamu also. I think what you are doing, you are transforming the thinking of the young people. And I have seen you people. I don't talk on your wall, but I am very pleased with the discussions. Very mature. You are maturing. And then people now begin to start thinking, okay, so what can we do? We cannot continue to be victims. We have to be victors. And that is what I think we should be telling young people. And again, because of the breakdown of the family structure, young people will not have these opinion leaders and positive influencers who can influence them positively. And this is what I am trying to do. Fill that gap. Mentorship. And as Brother Jamu says, you don't really need money for that. If they're online, sometimes I will tell them, okay, guys, 8 p.m. Let's talk about ourselves. Let's talk about leadership, and we use those bundles to engage in something positive. And some of them have thanked me, by the way. They've said, oh, wow, I didn't know I was a leader. Wow, I didn't know I was a basketball player because, wow, I didn't know I was this. Sometimes you just need someone to open your mind a little bit and bring out that powerful giant that is in you. And I think, Fazan, you are doing that for young people, and you should continue doing that. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, another one. So what's the score? 10 new?
Thank you. Yeah. And we will continue to do this. And there's a reason why we have this show to get our young people know exactly what is happening. When we started, I think when we started from the first a week that we started till now, we have not skipped one Sunday.
Right.
Ajam is always on time, and we always hear. So at the end of the day, the message we are trying to pass is very simple. It is possible for us to have the Africa of our dream. And nobody is going to stand on our way, in as much as we have a long way to go.
I got one more question.
Yes.
I know we're running out of time, but I got one more. Are you familiar with the concept democratic socialism? How would you implement that? How would you implement that if you were a leader in Kenya?
Okay, I think um, I like to I like to have that discussion in the light of capitalism, isn't it? You see, capitalism tends to be very individualistic, which is what the African is not.
Mm.
I think this is where the problem is. The
Mm.
African by nature is not individualistic. In fact, if you notice, whenever we have functions, we will never eat alone. We will always have people come and all that. Just to give a very simple definition of capitalism. So for me, a democratic socialism would be equitable distribution of resources. You know, make opportunities available, or what I would say, treating equals equal, isn't it? Because this is where the problem is. That you have a certain group of people in a certain social strata, and there is a lot of either favoritism, there is no meritocracy when it comes to maybe appointments of jobs
Mhm.
or contracts or all that. So for me, a democratic socialism would be just equitable distribution of resources. It's for me, it's about equity. There has to be some transparency and a deliberate effort to allow people
Mhm.
to be somewhere in life. Give them a chance, give them an opportunity, make opportunities available. And women, like women, the marginalized groups, persons with disabilities, for example, they don't get these opportunities. Although we claim to be in a democracy and our constitution says everyone is equal, but seriously, we are not. We are not. So we need to give an opportunity for those who are behind to catch up, so that at least we are at a certain social level. Fine, we can have the super rich, and of course we need to tax them a little bit more, or we can have the wealthy, but let nobody go hungry. Let anyone who wants an opportunity be given that opportunity. Now, well, for me, that is how I understand it. To put it
Okay.
very simple.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have
You're killing me with those claps.
yeah, we
Flashing.
yeah, we actually
Oh
having
man.
a great discussion, and I
Yeah.
know that a lot of people who are watching, they're impressed with
Mhm.
this conversation that we're having, and
Yeah.
a
Wow.
lot of comments that have been coming through. Our
Can you read
brother
out some of them?
Pearson, yeah, Pearson has been communicating a lot. There's just a lot of communication. Somebody said, I'm watching live here in Benue State, Nigeria, and that is my father.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Oh wow.
so,
Awesome.
so
Wow.
that is great.
What's up,
Yeah,
Dad? What's
yeah,
up?
and I
How you
think
doing?
Pearson is from United States of America, right?
Yeah, he's
And
from Orlando.
exactly,
Ah,
and yeah,
Real good
we
brother.
have a
great.
lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
real
we
good
have
brother. He's
a
in
lot of people.
education. He's in
Yeah, have
Oh,
a
education.
he
Real
is.
good
lot of
brother. Yeah, oh
people
yeah.
who's yeah
Yeah. Yeah,
watching
we'll
us.
we'll talk
Yeah.
Queen, because I got like a, yeah, we'll talk. Yeah,
Yeah,
after.
yeah, yeah. So guys,
Mhm.
we will want this video to be shared. Please, guys,
Mhm.
wherever you are and you are watching us, just share the video. We are
Yes.
so impressed with what Queen Helen has to say, and any Kenyans that are watching us right now, we should
Oh,
give this woman a try. Yeah,
I got one thing.
yeah.
A lot of people wanted me to ask her this. Is it possible for people to get dual citizenship in Kenya? And if it's not,
Yes.
can you make it possible? So, in other words, like a brother like me, I might have citizenship in the United States, but if I get citizenship in Kenya, then it's easier for me to, kind of go back and forth but at the same time, I'm in both worlds, which would actually benefit Kenya.
Yeah.
It would benefit. In other words, I might have a house in Kenya, but I'm still able to do business in America because I have citizenship in both places. Just using that as an example. I know that's coming up a lot here in the States. Brothers been asking me, ask those brothers over there, why can't we get dual citizenship and move forward with that?
By the way, thank you for that question. And we welcome our African American brothers and sisters. Please come to Africa. And by the way, you don't need dual citizenship to do business. You can still come in as an investor. Just get a partner and get your papers through. And right now, I think it is getting a little bit easier and easier by the day to do business. And we already have dual citizenship through marriage. You know, if you got married to a Kenyan, like if I got married.
What?
Yeah, I'm single for the record.
I know somebody's watching though.
I
know for a fact.
Yeah.
That sister got a
so
long resume.
dual citizenship it is in our law. It is allowed.
Right.
It is.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, welcome. We need you guys. You need to develop Africa. You are our brothers and sisters. Sometimes I look at you guys and some of you just like me. You know. So yeah, come on over. It's a beautiful place to be. Yes.
Kenya is actually a beautiful place. Kenya is actually a beautiful place. Yeah, it is. It is.
And the weather is just superb. You know.
Yeah.
Wow.
People come here because of the weather. You know.
Yeah.
It rains, then it shines, and then the people are very welcoming. You know?
Right.
But
hospitality is top.
Yeah.
It's a very good tourist destination.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah. And I will surely be coming for your inauguration. When you get the office, me and brother Ajam will be there. Like,
you know, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, we'll be there. Like,
I'm gonna start learning Swahili. I'm gonna be there.
Yeah. Asante, sawa, whatever.
Asante sana.
Break the dollars. Break the dollars. I need to come.
Yeah, no problem. We'll talk. Yeah, we'll talk.
Okay, so guys, I think we have come to the end of our show.
Real good
Helen,
show.
Yeah, Helen, I will Helen, I will want you to say a word or two to our viewers, so that we can round up the show.
Thank you very much for having me for the Jambo. It was nice talking to you. Love your outfit. It's beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
And just for that, now, looking good. Thank you for having me in the show. The message that I have to African Americans, for Africans, for young people, for women, for girls, my message is: let us invest in the youth, so that we can rebuild Africa with an African vision. That is the message that I want. Let us not give up. We are Africa, and Africa is our business. That's what we say.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. We had
Merci beaucoup.
Yeah, we had a great discussion with you. And Mr. Ajamu, do you know that the month of May is actually the month dedicated to celebrate Africa?
Yes.
Yeah. So this I'm wearing. Yeah, this that I'm wearing here is for Indebele people of South Africa. This one right here, and
beautiful.
And this one. Yeah, and this one here is for the Tiv people
Yes.
of Benue State of Nigeria. So I'm really,
Uh,
really celebrating Africa. In fact, I
Mm.
dressed like this to work on Friday, and all my
oh,
students,
Mm.
yeah, all
oh,
my
I
students were
needed
like,
to have done that. you, you should have given me a heads
yeah,
African History Month.
yeah. So, guys, let's keep being proud of Africa. Let's keep being proud of Africa. And the Kenyans that are watching, we are still saying, just give this lady a chance and let's see what she can do, because we will be the first people to call her to remind her of this very interview. We will send it to her if she start getting corrupt, because we had this discussion with yeah,
Oh man.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
No,
Yeah.
I don't have any blood of corruption in my body. Not
That's
a
great.
drop.
That's
And
great.
ain't gonna
That's
happen.
All right.
Ain't gonna happen.
That's
Okay.
great. That's
All
great.
right.
So brother Ajamu, what are you wearing? What culture is that? Or you just know that it's
Looks lovely. Looks
Well,
lovely.
the outfit that I have is actually like it's different pieces. It's different pieces sewn together to make a full outfit. It was actually sewn in Ghana. It was
okay?
sewn in
It's like
Ghana because my
Ankara?
friend, yes,
Yeah.
Ankara?
It's Ankara
Yeah,
material.
Ankara.
And
Yeah.
it was sewn in Ghana because my friend who's Yoruba from Nigeria, he married a Ghanaian woman,
Okay.
and
Wow.
he has a store here in Orlando, and he took my measurements with him over to Ghana and had this outfit made for me. And then I have
Wow.
another. I buy a lot of stuff through this brother, and then the hat is Yoruba, so it
Okay.
signifies it's Yoruba for the king. It's a king's hat,
Okay.
so it's
Okay.
Yoruba. So I'm representing, from my end. My ancestors are Yoruba, and so
Yeah.
forth, and I'm definitely proud of that. But also, enjoy anyone from Africa because it's all pieces to the puzzle. So
Oh yeah.
everyone together is a piece to the big puzzle, and the big puzzle is Africa. It's
Oh
it's
yeah.
one, it's the oneness, it's the unity, as you
Oh
spoke
yeah.
of. You
Yeah.
also you also spoke of cultural education. Definitely got to bring that back. You
Oh
spoke
yeah.
of democratic socialism. Definitely, people need to go look into that. Very important. It overrides capitalism and so forth. Um, and the last thing I'm going to say is I wear this type of clothing every day. I don't wait for a month. I don't wait for a particular day. I don't wait for someone to tell me to be
Wow.
proud. I'm hey, hey, um, and that's why I call myself. Sometimes I call myself King of Jamu, is because
Hey,
I'm
yeah.
the king. I'm the king of my own mind, of my own body. I'm sovereign
Yeah.
Oh,
over my
man.
own mind. I'm my
Yeah.
own man.
Oh,
I don't care what nobody
Mm.
say. You can laugh at me all you want, and which people do, and some people do admire, and so forth.
Mm.
It's no problem. I'm the king of my own mind. I'm good.
Exactly.
I'm in an
Exactly.
African space wherever I go. Wherever I
Exactly.
go. So
woo,
I was
awesome.
yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
You look
Yes.
awesome.
And we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk, Queen Helen. I do have an export import type of thing going on, business and all that. We'll talk
Awesome.
and maybe collaborate. King Fazin is a brother. He's. I mean, I don't have any brothers and sisters, but this brother right here is my brother.
Oh
Period.
yeah.
Period.
Brother from
Period.
another
We
mother.
brothers.
Period. Yeah. And when I go to Johannesburg, I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be a lot of emotion. It's gonna be
Oh
very
man,
emotional.
man, that I
Yeah.
can't wait for that day, brother Ajima.
I'll,
Guys,
I'll
thank
tag
you.
along.
Yeah,
Oh, all right. All right. All right.
yeah. We surely come to Kenya, guys. It has been awesome, awesome,
Mhm.
awesome show that we have. For
Yes.
now, we have to go. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you guys
Right.
next time, the same place, and it's gonna be
Mhm.
interesting like this. God